pleasing is it to see Cali top after the challenges of the past year?
Yeah, it's great to see us. I mean, it's the second time this year we've obviously got to the top of the table, and it's important that we try and learn from it. You know, the first time we obviously we got to the top and then we were sort of knocked off pretty quick. We'll be trying everything we can to make sure that doesn't happen again, because it's where we want to be. You know, so it's important that we probably have to change the mindset and mentality a bit as well, because we know it's going to be, every week's going to be harder. Every team wants to beat you when you're at the top, but that's something that we're going to have to look forward to, you know, and take on the challenge that lies ahead. So no, we'll be focusing on the game like we have every other week. You know, it's really important that we do that, but we know we're going to be in for a real hard game. It's very similar to our last week against Montrose. You know, I think they'll be desperate to try to get going and get a run together, so we know that we're going to have to be at our best like we have to be every week. You know, I think everybody in this league is capable of beating each other, so I think we just need to make sure that we look after ourselves.
As you say, you've been there once before. Is it harder to get there, or is it harder to stay there?
I think it's harder to stay there, if I'm being really honest with you, because it does. I mean, when you're chasing, you're trying to get there, you're putting so much into it, but when you're at the top, you need to go another level. You know, you need to make sure you're at it every week, because one poor performance, that can all change and you get knocked off the top of the table. And that's what happened to us against Hamilton. When we were at the top, we went there and we didn't put in the best performances, and we were soon knocked off the top of the table pretty quick. So hopefully we learn from it. You know, we do realise it's going to be a hard game, every game is, but we'll need to try and be at our best to make sure that we try and stay at the top for as long as we can.
Billy Mackay, what's the situation with his injury?
Yeah, he's got a grade 2 hamstring. He got a bit of a sore one last week in training. We weren't sure, and that's why we didn't get the scan results back, so we weren't sure how bad it was going to be. He's going to be out for maybe 3-4 weeks. Probably at the earliest he'll be back, you know, middle December, but if he can get back before, that'll be great. So it's a shame, because he just got back in the team against Peterhead, scored, did great within the game, and then he obviously has that wee setback now. But listen, I'm sure the wee man will get the head down and work away to get himself back fit and get himself back in contention to play.
Cove obviously looks on paper an easy game, top versus bottom, but you never take anything for granted in this league, do you?
Absolutely not. That's one thing I've learned over the time I've been in charge, is I take absolutely nothing for granted. And listen, I know you're saying it's top versus bottom, but as I say, they'll be coming here and they'll be wanting to get a win, and they'll be wanting to start a run of games, you know, and we'll be wanting to try and stay at the top of the table. So it makes for an interesting game, which ourselves against Cove always has been. There's always been that sort of rivalry, you know, in terms of both teams being from the Highland League and that sort of thing. So no, it's good. So Paul's got his team, you know, they've got some cracking players there. So they'll come up here and they'll want to give it everything they've got. So we'll be doing the same, and we'll make sure that we're at our best, but we know we're in for a real tough game. There's no question of that.
What's your team news?
Team news is won't change, 1 or 2 wee knocks here and there, but as again, they'll be getting assessed this afternoon and they'll get assessed again in the morning, and we'll take it from there and we'll see how we are for Saturday.
Thank you.
Okay.